All right, I want to review one type of problem that we haven't talked about in this section, evaluating limits algebraically. And we use a procedure from algebra for adding fractions. So this is a typical problem that you'll run across. So 1 over 3 plus h minus 1/3 over h. Notice that if you input the 0 using direct substitution, you end up with 0 over 0, which is indeterminate. Indeterminate. So we're going to use a procedure for adding two fractions together. Now, you might remember, and if you think back and pull your notes out, we had these two fractions, a over b plus c over d. And we have to add them together. So we use a cross multiplication method here. So step 1 would be to multiply b times d, and you would get bd. Step 2 would be to multiply a times d, and you would get ad. And the last one, b times c, you would get bc. Put a fraction there and add them up. So in this case, we have something similar. Here is our fraction. So we have an a, which is 1. Down, b would be 3 plus h. C is a 1, and d is a 3. And they're separated by a minus sign. So let's see how it works. So I'm going to write lim h goes to 0. Three plus h times 3 is 3 plus h. So 3, we're going to end up with 3 times 3 plus h. So 3 times 3 plus h, and you just write it there. Don't multiply them together. Now we're going to multiply vertically 3 times 1, and we're going to get 3. Now we're going to go this way, and 3 plus h times 1 is going to be 3 plus h. But we're going to separate it with a minus sign, and we're going to put 3 plus h. All of that over h. Now let's simplify a little bit first by distributing that minus sign. Notice that the 3's cancel. So let me go to some more space. The lim, as h goes to 0, and we're going to write 3 times 3 plus h or minus h, and I have an h down here. So our fraction is still in the numerator. Equals lim minus h over 3 times 3 plus h times 1 over h. Notice here that the h's cancel. So you get minus 1 over 3 times 3 plus h. Use direct substitution. You get minus 1/9. Now, I'd like for you to try one. Lim as h approaches a over h minus a. Stop the video and attempt the problem. It has a surprise in it. And you want to be able to see if you could use your algebra skills to work your way through the solution. All right, so let's get started. So we're going to use our cross multiplication technique. So h times a, we get ha. A times 1 is a, minus h over h minus a. Still have to simplify. So nothing to do here. We could write the problem over again as a minus h over ha times 1 over h minus a. Now, it looks like you probably got to this step here and wondering, well, what do I do? Well, notice here that we have an a minus h, and here we have an h minus a. And if we could get these to cancel, it would help solve this problem. There is an algebra step I want to introduce you to. So I'm going to keep this the same, but watch what happens when I factor out a minus sign. First, let's reverse this around and see something here. Now we have the a's lined up and the h's lined up, but the signs are reversed. So let's factor out the minus sign here in this step. That's going to be a minus h. So now notice that the a minus h can cancel with the a minus h. So we get minus 1 over ha. The minus sign can move out in front of the lim. So you get 1 over ha. And now you're going to substitute. So you get minus 1 over a times a, which is minus 1 over a squared. So that was using some fancy algebra skills, and they can only be reinforced by doing some problems. Check out my next video, and let's do some more practice problems.